Our problem is your problem. You will never be fully respected until and unless we are also respected. And be divided or work in solidarity as African brothers and sisters the world over.
Godfather of Harlem fans, again, I can't say enough about this being one of the top shows on TV that a lot of people missing out on, most likely because of the network, MGM Plus, formerly FX. And this episode was just as good, delivering, kind of showing us the growing partnership between Bumpy and his big homie that is waterboarding and torturing people that he see as Bumpy enemies. So we all know that they in bed together, and we see more divide between Bumpy and that punk Joe Colombo, who is in here just doing anything and everything he can to mess up Bumpy and the Harlem connection. And then Poe Malcolm fell out. But this episode was entitled Captain Fields. And what did we expect? Captain Feelgood was nothing more than the usual. And we're going to break it all down right now in this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you're finding me for the first time. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and I do have a TikTok. But you can also download the podcast. I put everything on YouTube on that podcast, so you can take me wherever you go. Let's catch another clip from this trailer that gave all the insight we needed to know about cops, whether they're black, white, whoever during this era, and it still lends to happen today. And we'll come back and break this thing down.
On paper, they told me the name of every single cop in this precinct who's taking money from the mob, including you.
They hate me enough as it is.
So you threaten me, but you keep your hands off their tie-ins.
I wish I could jail all of you. But the culture here ain't gonna change overnight.
Figure out who your enemies are, your real enemies. So then, motherfucker, you work for me.
Take this thing from the top, ladies and gentlemen. That damn Joe Colombo. Y'all know why I got heat for him, because he's trying to mess with one of my TV wives in Stella. And right now, he's coming up with a diabolical plan because more Doogie is coming from France, and he wants them to be able to take it over. And he's going to use the police force to make it happen because old Captain Fields is in place. House Negra is in place, and they planning on using him and his cop connections to F over Bumpy, in essence, and get the families back on top of everything. And then we get to a scene where the cops actually pop up in Club Geechee, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I said it. Club Geechee, shooting up the place, ladies. And you know how much money Bumpy done put into this place, and they think their ass is just going to come in there and shoot it up without repercussions. Him and Jose Battle sitting over there, and they telling everybody to get their ass on the ground. Bumpy ain't going to stand for this. Do y'all know who the hell y'all messing with? This dude like the black Superman of that era. And y'all think y'all just going to bust up in Club Geechee, mess up the pride of the black folks in Harlem. Him and Jose Battle over there making plans. But they did it. You know what? And Bumpy was mad. Them cops, them took money out the tip jar that was supposed to be for the people. And Jose Battle was just telling him, look, man, Colombo is just trying to show you what he's up to. He's trying to make a play for the Doogie. He's also trying to make a play for Harlem. How we going to handle this business? And then we see old French black Negro connection, who thought last season he was better than the black folks in America because he was old Frenchy. We see him leaving France, getting on an airplane, about to drop off the Doogie. And you know what? His boss is dead, so he happy as hell. He probably the leader of all this stuff. Now you probably really can't tell his ass nothing, but he's on the way. He just don't know what's about to happen when he get here. And then, ladies and gentlemen, got to be more careful. I got to change octaves in my voice on this. That fine ass Mamie telling Bumpy the new cop name is Reggie Fields. What you should do is go talk to him and see if you can get him to protect black businesses because he's trying to be a clean cop. They selling Mr. Fields as a clean cop. But we know how that eventually winds up happening. But just the close-ups of Mamie in this scene, I'm going to have to get an interview with her. This is a fine woman. Then we go on to another fine woman, Bumpy's daughter, who's now cross seas in Egypt with Malcolm. And he's getting ready to give a major speech. And ladies and gentlemen, you search online, you can find that speech in real life. And basically, he's letting her know that a Cuban revolutionary wants to have a conversation with him. Of course, she's a little leery about that, and pretty much anyone, because, you know, there's hit on Malcolm's life. You know, you want the man who's telling all the truth to shut his ass up. And at the same time, Egypt's rules are way different from West Africa. And so he's telling her she needs to stay in her room and don't go anywhere. And she's kind of a warrior. She's fearless. She's like, I don't give a damn what they say. I'm going to get up out of here. But she does agree to stay in her room because they treat women differently in Egypt. We get to Bumpy actually meeting Captain Fields. And Captain Fields is basically like, bruh, I don't know why the hell you think you came in here. You're going to intimidate me talking about cops. I don't know about these cops. And furthermore, I am a good police sergeant. I am fair and equal. Bumpy looking at this dude like, man, shut the hell up. We know you ain't fair and equal. Money is the root of all evil. My man Ted DiBiase said everybody has a price. And we're going to get down to the bottom of what your price is. But you need to do your business. And you're going to get to know who the name Bumpy is on these streets. Then we get to my girl, Stella, another one of these fine, beautiful women on this cast. And she's getting chewed out, ladies and gentlemen, by Joe Colombo, who told her if it wasn't for her father, he'd kill her ass. And we know right now she's very, very emotional. She's touchy. She wants to get up out of here. She wants to get to another country and chill out. She really wants to get out of this prison he has her in, and look at the evil look on her face. I mean, damn, they almost got her looking like a time shift with Hillary Clinton. Bags under her eyes, wrinkles around her mouth. I mean, damn, this is not a good look for Stella, but damn, she's acting with her face. And her and Joe have real animosity, which is going to lead to more in this story. Malcolm X is in here talking to the Cuban revolutionary, who's basically telling him he wants Malcolm to radicalize the people in America. That's what he wants, because at first he's basically making Malcolm think, look, if you don't think that the people in America are trying to basically incite racism across the world, indoctrinate people across the world, how you really planning to help your people in America? Because you're not seeing the whole picture. Malcolm thinks about it. Yes, he thinks about it. But he decides he doesn't want to go that route, and we'll see how that turns out in the end. But I thought this conversation with the Cuban national was kind of touching, because it lets you know somewhat of the perspective of people outside of America and how they felt about America and the way we try to institute our policies on the world. Everybody doesn't want our policy. And he even talked about how when, you know, we as Americans want to make somebody a villain, we incite the terms of communist, socialist, that type of thing, when in some cases it's not always as bad as people think. And then we get to somebody pretending to be representatives of this area's land, when we all find out really and truly they ain't nothing more than the damn CIA, because they're trying to get Elise to get Malcolm not to do his speech. Okay. And Elise is kind of like, why? They really won't give her straight answers, which they usually never do. And he's persisting to tell her that, look, I know what happened about Malcolm in America. There was a threat on his life. You wouldn't want to see that again, putting the fear in Elise, who we know has strong feelings for Malcolm. I mean, like, she would probably give her them wet panty draws in a hot New York minute if it wasn't for the fact that she has boundaries and she's friends now with his wife. But this guy is really trying to get her to get him not to do that speech. And we know that that didn't happen because Malcolm is fearless. Malcolm wants to get the word out there. He wants to enlighten people. We have a Stella talking to old Pike, old police officer. I need to take down the Italian mob. I need to take down Bumpy. I really need to get my hands on Jose Battle. Talking to Stella about everything he knows that she knows and wanting her to take down Joe Colombo. And right now, Stella's feeling very, very emotional, very, very upset. And she's actually going for what he's selling. And for a minute there, I was happy because I started thinking, you know what? my girl Stella is about to do the right thing. She done told on her real daddy. How hard could it be to tell on a second person that's put in place to be like a big uncle, big daddy? Then we get our man Bumpy trying to work out a deal with the cop that he's been using for years, done put the man kids through college with all the money he's paid, needing to know who was these damn cops that bust up in the spot, shooting up the Geechee. Now he's going to have to repair all that, pay for all that to get fixed. Cop is very scared because he doesn't have kind of the pull he used to have. But you know what? Because of his love for Bumpy and what Bumpy has done for him and the money Bumpy is offering, he goes through with it anyway. And that was a dire mistake, ladies and gentlemen, very dire. And then we get Colombo and Bumpy meeting. And this was kind of the culmination, one of the culminations of this episode. Bumpy meeting up with the man that is his adversary this season. And he's basically telling Bumpy, look, dude, I've been generous to you already as an Italian white guy. Why don't you join me? He goes so far even to tell Bumpy the fact that he keeps denying him is like Bumpy being racist. And I'm sitting over here like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck you talking about, Bumpy racist? Just because he won't join your one-handed, backhanded deal of an organization. And Bumpy said, basically, okay, if you want me to prove to you I'm not racist, handshake, we do 50-50. Of course, Joe says no. And then Joe takes him to the back of the trunk to show him the cop that Bumpy tried to get information, used to get information. He's dead. To let him know that Colombo is nobody to be reckoned with. And basically, ladies and gentlemen, the battle lines are still drawn between these two. Nothing happened. And then in the very next scene with Bumpy, Colombo sent them damn cops there to harass Bumpy. Bumpy is trying to have his coffee, ladies and gentlemen, 2 sugars. The black lady over there was real nice to him, trying to get him to have some more coffee. And then these 2 doofuses come in there with nothing to arrest Bumpy with, but they about to throw his hands behind his back. And guess who came in to save Bumpy? Who is actually looks like he's trying to do the right thing. He's playing the part. Oh, Captain Feelgood comes in there to help Bumpy out, tells those guys to let Bumpy go. Nothing is going to happen. Get in my office to be reprimanded. And the black people in there was about to go Trayvon Martin on these 2 white guys. In there arresting Bumpy for nothing, causing a ruckus. But right now, we're starting to think that Captain Feelgood might really be a good cop. Then Poe Malcolm comes back from his meal with Chi, and all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, his ass falls the hell over. I was like, damn. Who done this? Was it Chi? Was it the FBI? Who is trying to get Malcolm not to do this speech? And if I got to put my hands on it, I would say it was the CIA. Definitely not Chi, because Chi wants him to have this speech. He just wants him to be way more radical in it. And of course, the homegirl is over there. She is rattled. I thought she was about to give him mouth to mouth. You know how much she liked him, try to revive her man, but the ambulance get there, they take care of Malcolm, they help him out. Stella is having her little dinner where she made her signature dish, and old Joe is over there eating it up. And ladies and gentlemen, I lost all my feeling again for Stella because she comes clean about telling on her daddy. He gave her some impassioned speech about himself, and all of a sudden, she's feeling real soft on this bum. And ladies and gentlemen, she's falling for the banana in the tailpipe again. Damn, Stella, you so close to being one of my TV wives, and you keep messing up. Now, during this dinner that she orchestrated with the intention to get him on tape saying something, she hid the recording device right behind a picture of her and her dad. And ladies and gentlemen, I do believe Stella messed this recording device up on purpose, because by the time she gets it to put him in jail Pike, it's messed up, it's gurgling words, and he's mad as fuck. And me, I'm mad as fuck at Stella because I'm like, Stella, you had your chance to take this dude down and you didn't. Malcolm is revised. They tell him not to do the speech. He's giving the impassioned speech on the racism of American imperialists. And while that's going on, Bumpy done got these 2 cops. And ladies and gentlemen, he's using his classic switchblade, cutting them up, torturing them. But then we see Jose Battle getting in the game, showing his commitment to his friendship with Bumpy and his partnership with Bumpy. And he's waterboarding these dudes. I didn't know they waterboarded folks like this back in the 60s. Jose Battle ain't playing. Jose Battle getting all up in there. And did you see the way Bumpy was looking at them and put away his switchblade as Jose took over and did the bidding for him? And Malcolm finished his speech, ladies and gentlemen, and he just highlighted how we don't have no right to be talking about we're trying to be a certain way in America when we're not even treating our people right at home. And then we're imparting racism across the world, as well as in America, we go from imparting racism through power via the KKK to now the police. And now we've got politicians in there writing laws trying to make shit racist all over again, till we finish, ladies and gentlemen, on Bumpy meeting up with Captain Feelgood and letting him know that I got those cops to talk, they'll resign. And in their resignations, I've got the paperwork and I've got speeches and I got that shit on tape. They also told me how crooked your money taking ass was. So you are no longer Captain Feelgood over me. You are working for me, MFer. And I love the way Bumpy walked out of there. And then they ended with old French nigger coming to America, ready, smiling, thinking that he's going to be high and mighty over the blacks in America with his doji. And he's going to be in probably for a real big surprise when he gets here. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Please post me all your comments on this episode. This show is one of the top 5 going on right now. Love it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and the TikTok. And also download that podcast and join us tonight live at 9 p.m. Me and the living legend, Larry, who is basically a historian, along with Miss K, are going to discuss this episode. Till that next Sexy as Hell video, I'll see you.